You may be seated, and I would love it if all of the boys and girls and younger folks who are here today could come forward and help me with my homily today. We haven't done this in a while, so maybe we've forgotten how to do it, but I don't think so. So boys and girls, come right up. This is a homily for everyone, but the boys and the girls get to sit up real close. Everyone's welcome. If you want to bring a special friend or a grown-up with you, that's also fine. Come right up. Excellent. And just have a seat with me here. All right. Hi, AJ. You can sit right here. Excellent. So I have some questions for you, and some of them are easy and some of them are harder, and all the answers are fine. Whatever you want to say is just fine. So my first question is, who can tell me anything that's different about church this morning? As you look around the room, do you notice anything unusual or that isn't normally here or that looks a little bit different than it has in the past? Sawyer, what do you notice? What? That, yes. What is that? Do you know what that is? Who can help?
Bottom of the broom.
It's the bottom of a broom. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, Simon, what is that?
An advent wreath.
It's an Advent wreath. That's right. It has 4 candles around the outside and 1 in the middle. And those of you who are in Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, I think you made Advent wreaths a week ago. Can anyone tell me what the different candles, why they're different colors or what they're for? Does anyone remember what one of them is for? Yeah, go ahead. One of them is for Christmas. That's the white one in the middle. That's right. Kristen, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Yes, there's one for each week coming to Christmas.
There's one for each week coming to Christmas. That's exactly right. You guys are listening and paying attention in catechesis. I love it. Excellent. Does anyone notice anything else that's different about church today that doesn't have to do with the Advent wreath? Yeah, Nathan, what do you notice?
I noticed that the food has gotten taken away.
The fruit has been taken away. Yes. If you were here last Sunday, there was a Thanksgiving altar. Good. Simon, did you notice something?
There's no Sunday school.
There's no Sunday school. Yes. Nicholas. The color is purple. That's right. The color is purple. We have the Advent wreath. There was one more change in the service that isn't something you could see, but it's something you could hear if you were listening to some of the songs that we've sung today. Did anybody notice a difference in some of the songs that we sing today? Well, the first song that we sang after we were all in is different. Usually it's a Gloria, and today we sang a different one, because all of this is because today is the beginning of a new season. And I think you've already said what season it is, but can you all just tell me what season it is so I can remember? Almost Christmas, that's right. Advent is what it's called, Advent, that's right.
Christmas, Charlie Brown.
You have a Charlie Brown Christmas? Did you watch it this weekend at Thanksgiving?
No.
No, but coming up.
On Thanksgiving, there's like a kind of little ship, and it's called a Mayflower. That's how we show them. That's what we are.
Eddie, would you like to preach at the Thanksgiving service? That would be excellent. So, today is the beginning of a new season called Advent. Now, each of the seasons of the church year has a theme. In Easter, the theme is joy. In Lent, the theme is forgiveness. In Advent, the theme is even harder than forgiveness. What's the only thing that could be harder than forgiveness, David? Waiting. That's right. He's a plant. I'll stop calling on him now. Waiting. That's exactly the right answer. Waiting is hard. Now, I brought some things to remind me of all the things that are hard for me to wait for, and I want to show them to you. This is a tape measure. And when I was a kid, one of the hardest things for me to wait for was being tall enough to ride the best rides at the boardwalk where we went every summer. And so this tape measure reminds me of how hard it was to wait to be tall. Do any of you have a hard time waiting to be tall? Yeah, I see some hands. Yeah, that's a hard thing to wait for. It takes a long time. The second thing that I brought that reminds me of waiting is this checkbook. Because when I was a kid, the worst lines to wait in with my mom were at the bank. I don't know if people even wait in line at the bank anymore, but when I was a kid, I used to have to wait in line at the bank again and again. And it was the worst line because there were no treats at the counter to wait for. And because we never bought anything. We just stood there. And then we left. And it was like, why were we there waiting? So that was hard for me. And then when I became a grown-up, waiting was still hard for me. And one of the hardest things to wait for was this. This is a picture of Nathan when he was in Kristen's belly, waiting to be born. And that was the hardest thing for me to wait for, knowing that he was about to come into the world. And I just wanted it to happen. And it was the 9 months took forever. And then he came. And how wonderful that was. So Advent is a season of waiting. What are some things that are hard for you to wait for? What are some hard things to, what's hard for you to wait for? Christmas is hard to wait for. What else is hard to wait for? Yeah, go ahead, Elsie.
Easter.
Easter's hard to wait for. What else is hard to wait for? Yes?
Summer.
Summer. Yes, summer is so hard to wait. We're not even close. Simon. Birthdays are hard to wait for. Eddie, what's hard to wait for?
It's hard to wait for when Santa comes to give you gifts.
Presents. Presents are so hard. Now, why are presents so hard to wait for? Why are they, Nicholas, why are presents so hard? Because it's a surprise. Bella, why are presents hard for you to wait for? Because you want them so much. That's why it's hard for me too. Now, Advent is a season about us waiting, and we're waiting, who are we waiting for? Who are we waiting for at church? Jesus, that's right. Because Christmas is Jesus' birthday. But you know what? Advent isn't just about our waiting. Advent is about God's waiting. And you know how much you want the presents that you're thinking about that you might get on Christmas morning? Well, God wants things too. God wants things from us just as much as we want presents. And you know, the things that God is waiting for from us are a little bit different than the presents that you're waiting for. You know, in Advent, we think about the two comings of Christ. We think about Jesus coming in the manger, and we think about Christ's return at the end of time. And I think about this kind of like a grandparent who lives far away, who doesn't see their grandkids for a long time. And when they come back after a long visit, what do they notice? Oh, look how much you've grown. Look at all the things you can do now that you couldn't do before. Look at the wonderful way that you are becoming the person that you have always been meant to become. And that's how I think God waits for us as a people, as human beings individually, and for us as a whole. God is waiting this Advent. God is waiting for us to grow into the people that God has made us to become. Now, I have a question, and this is a question for you guys on the floor, and it's a question for you guys in the pews. What do you think God is waiting for this Advent from us? Okay, yes, let's get started over here. Christian. Love. What do you mean by love? Say more. Whose love? Oh, God is waiting for God's love. And I think for our love too, right? He wants us to be more loving. What else is God waiting for? What do you think God is hoping for when God comes back? How will we have grown as a people? Bella. We'll have grown in happiness. And what would make us more happy, do you think? If everyone is together, I do think that would make us more happy. And I think that would make God more happy too. What else is God waiting for this Advent? Bronson.
Tolerance.
Tolerance. Yes, I think God is waiting for that. Candy.
Peace on earth.
Peace on earth. I think God is waiting for that too. What else? What else is Eddie? Oh man. Candy at Halloween. I think you're waiting for that. I'm not sure if God's waiting for that. What else is God waiting for this year? Eliza.
Friendships.
Friendships. Friendships, yes. What else is God waiting for this year? Sharon.
Acceptance.
Acceptance, yes. Yes, acceptance. What else is God waiting for? God's waiting to meet us when we get to heaven. I think that's true. Maybe for some of us sooner than others. What else is God waiting for this year? Carol?
Forgiveness.
For forgiveness. What else is God waiting for? Matt?
Honesty.
Honesty. Yes. Yes. Those are wonderful things. And if you didn't share, that's okay too. You may have one in your own heart and in your own mind so that you know what God is waiting for this Advent. And I pray, boys and girls, for you and my friends, for each of you, that when God comes on Christmas, God finds in each one of us a heart that is prepared to receive and welcome the blessings of God, and that is ready to offer to the world and to God all the many things for which God is so deeply waiting from you, from me, from all of us together. Amen.